UCLA and Michigan coming up on a glorious Saturday on ABC.
Maddox to go to Moore. He's looking for him. He's got him, but he has to overthrow him because Moore was so well covered by David Key. Key was right in Moore's jersey, number 4. But when your offense consists of one weapon, namely the forward pass, it's difficult to complete those passes.
And it's awfully tough again. Tommy Maddox faced with a long third down situation, 3rd and 9 that time. In the first half, he was put in an awfully lot of long down situations and ended up converting a large portion of them.
And into punt, a pooch punter, Darren Shager, a true freshman from Rosemead, California. He's going to try to punt it out of bounds. Left-footed, goes straight up the chute, but not very far. And it takes a Michigan bounce and comes all the way back to the 31. You know what that netted? About 15 yards. That's about all.
Yeah, UCLA is definitely suffering through some punting woes.
Michigan leading by 13 points early in the 3rd quarter.
Right next to, in front of, rather, the Cal Bitch. Let's take a look. He goes up in the air. He's got the ball there. Now he's coming down, and he's tossed out of bounds. He would have come down in bounds if he'd not been pushed out by that defensive back. That should be a fair catch.
Yes, it should. The defender drove him out of bounds. That should have been ruled a completion. I don't understand that at all. And neither does Terry Donahue. This is not Kyler punting. They have made a change. Their left footer has come in to punt the football. Steger, and Triggs is over there and fields it and goes out of bounds at the 41. And so Terry Donahue, unhappy with his punting game, makes a change, and that's only a 34-yard punt.
Against Arizona coming up next live on Prime Ticket. Darren Shager now will punt for UCLA. The left-footed one who booms them in practice. And a bad kick to the 44-yard line. We'll take a look at Vaughn bringing this one back. Escapes 3 Bruins and out to the 39-yard line. 38-yard punt, 14-yard return, so the net result still not good for UCLA, only 24 yards. Bruins last in the Pac-10 in that department, and the tight end. And it'll be punting time now, and I think we'll see Shager again. And we will. Darren Shager, 38 yards on his first delivery. Vaughn once again back to receive. Shager. Pretty good hang time on this one. Driven back to the 29. Vaughn, one of the best in the country, runs into his own man. 46-yard punt, 5-yard return. Getting in the way that time was Jay Phillips. And he and the coach of Arizona congratulate each other. Going to take a break and be back with more. Don't go away. 54-14. The Bruins big over the Wildcats.
And the Beavers of Oregon State.
Pickup of about 12. It was 3rd down and 17. And now it will be 4th down and about 3. So the Bruins are going to have to punt it away.
Well, off that little right side blocking of the offensive line, he gets a lot of daylight. Looking at a 3rd and long. Lucky that the ball went out of bounds. They weren't in the middle of the field, but they chose not to put the ball in the air. And despite the fact they're having success running, I'm surprised that Maddox isn't going upfield.
Darren Shager will punt it away. He is a sophomore from Rosemead, California. He is cut by Mark Venturini. He'll get a couple on the return. A 35-yard punt off the toe of Darren Shager. He's a left-footed punter, and whenever you see a left-footed punter and you don't see a lot of them, Donna, doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that ball is spiraling a different way as it comes down.
Yeah, and that particular one there, being a short kick such as it was, if the various combinations of kicks, that if it does not go up and turn over the nose of the football, if the nose goes up, then it will come back and sort of drift away from you, and that's exactly what happened there.
Now UCLA is going to have to punt it away for only the second time tonight.
He hadn't gotten locked in there. Nguyen was wide open just to the inside of Stokes.
To punt it away, Darren Shager.
Good route.
Fair catch at the 39-yard line. It is taken by Mark Venturine. So here comes the Oregon State.
What is this, a plot against me? I'm a little surprised that the Cougars haven't come after Bonds. He hasn't had that much playing time. He's fresh in the game. Should be blitzing him and getting after him. We got a new punter out there, Phil?
It is Darren Shager, sophomore out of Rosemead, California.
Tryout day. Jerry's got the big lead. He's trying all these different kickers.
He's only punted it 5 times on the year, and oh, does he unload that one? Philip Bobo brings it back out across the 20.
Beauty.
As Shager nails it, a 50-yarder.
Kicked the air out of it.
Now, early in the season, Donnie, you had some decisions to make. Neither Courtney Kyler nor Shager were booming them. And finally, a couple of weeks ago against Oregon State, Kerry Donnie finally decided, hey, neither guy's excelling. Let's just take Courtney Kyler and stay with him.
Yeah, his first.
And here they come. Maddox has to unload quickly. It is incomplete at the 46-yard line, intended for Michael Moore. Ron Riddell was running step for step on the out pattern, and now the Bruins are going to have to get rid of the football.
Well, that was an impressive defensive stand to back up that beautiful offensive drive that Stanford put on in the opener. And they have set the tone here, certainly in the early going of this football game.
Darren Shager averaging 40.3 yards a punt, and there is the man who is so dangerous, Glenn Milburn. He returned one for a touchdown last year against Washington. Bernardo went back to try and get it and decided wisely just to let it bounce. So the Cardinal will have it at their own 13-yard line, following a 47-yard punt from Darren Shager.
3 and out.
Shager is the kicker.
Shager to punt it away. Bernardo and Milburn are the double safeties. With all the time in the world, Shager lets it sail. It's Granardo. He's got it at the 30. Backtracks a couple of yards. Now wants to turn upfield. He's across the 38 and well up there. George.
On the sideline, you want to keep him out of his rhythm. Well, he's had his share of problems with the pass rush and the different coverages, which is what Denny Green told us they were going to do yesterday, is give him all these different looks when his head's down in the shotgun. Create some problems for him. It has. The combination's been tough for him to deal with.
Darren Shager lets it go. Only his 3rd punt of the night. Milburn with a fair catch at the 19-yard line. A 42-yard punt. Let's go down to the field and Gene. So to punt it away, Darren Shager, his 4th of the game. Short punt. Stanford will simply let it bounce. And it'll go out of bounds at the 48-yard line. So the Cardinal, following a 32-yard punt, will take possession of the football with 4 minutes to play. Well, Don, I want to take just a moment to, if I may, congratulate my brother Rick Gavin and his wife Linda. They were married today in Houston, Texas. They were disheartened by the fact that I couldn't get there. I told them if they would be married at Stanford Stadium, I would be here.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a double hit for you today because they had that ceremony at halftime.
Done it. After the devastating loss to the Bruins a year ago on the final play of the game, they come back and dominate UCLA here in 1991. Final score, Stanford 27, UCLA 10.
One of the few times you'll see Maddox make a bad decision. He had the corner, could have run for the first down. Instead tried to make the difficult pass and throw back across his body into the middle. Maddox paid the price and came up limping and now limps to the sidelines.
Maddox was shaken up last week in the Stanford game. He suffered a concussion, had to remain in the hospital after the game. Darren Shager will punt it now for the Bruins. Back deep, Brian Brown for Oregon. And this is a Nice kick. Brown fields it at his 35 and almost gets hammered, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 38-yard line. A 39-yard punt, 4 yards on the return by Brown. Well, Oregon's going to punt away. Darren Shager is going to kick it off. Brian Brown, UCLA, pardon me, punting it. Brian Brown of Oregon standing on his own 27-yard line. A low kick, fielded at the 37 where he calls for the fair catch.
Brian Brown makes a fair catch on the 34-yard line.
32-yard punt.
And made the play. 6'3", 241-pounder.
Darren Shager into punt now for the Bruins. Brian Brown standing on his own 41-yard line. It was the same type of play that Maddox suffered the concussion on last week. A high kick fielded at the 48 where Brown calls for the fair catch. A 32-yard punt, nothing on the return. Stick around. Herman Thomas and the Buffalo Bills head down to Miami to take on Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins.
That game in the AFC East is always fun to watch. Danny's just starting to get heated up now with the Dolphins. Had a big game last week. Now he and Kelly will face off with Reich waiting in the wings.
All starts at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Shager punting it for the Bruins. This is Brown at the 45. Takes it straight ahead. The return of 2 yards, a 39-yard punt. It's still 6-0. Stay with us.
Series of this ball game. Just under 9 minutes to play now, and it's paramount that Oregon gets something going here offensively.
Brian Brown standing on his own 10-yard line. Aaron Shager kicking from his own 41. Low snap. And it's blocked. Oregon recovers at the 37-yard line. A huge break for the Ducks.
Again, it's the defense and the special teams which continues to make the big plays.
Eugene Jackson recovered the punt. And Oregon will be set up with tremendous field position.
That's right. It's you, Eugene. Great play. First of all, there was trouble with the snap and the handling of it. And the pressure came from both sides and the middle.
Well, last week it was Muhammad Oliver. Each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial needs. Now stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report.
And coming up with play after play, his quickness, irrespective of his size, has been the factor all year for him.
Hunting situation. The snap, no rush. Trojans have a return on the left-footed effort coming to about the 24-yard line. Taken there by Conway, looking for a break, finds some open daylight, cutting to the side, back again, dropped as he gets to the Bruin 45. Big return by Curtis Conway gives the ball to the Trojans at the Bruin 45-yard line. 27 yards on the return of that kick. Trojans will have the ball in great field position. We'll be back.
Because U.S. Air begins with you.
We start the second period here. The Bruins leading 10-0 over the Trojans. Shager is back to kick. And Curtis Conway is standing back at the Trojan 30-yard line. SC needs a big play, in fact, a series of big plays to get back in this one. Defense has been adequate, except for the 172-yard burst by Williams. Big rush, but Shager gets it away. Conway waits for the fair catch. The ball takes a Bruin bounce inside the 30 and rolls sideways at the 27-yard line. It'll be after a 40-yard kick, 1st and 10 for the Trojans at that point. Today's, but the official on the play says fair catch. Going to bring up a 4th down and about 4, and the Bruins will send Shager in to kick it away.
Right there, Michael Moore really making a fine catch along the sideline. Great camera work, keeping the 1 foot down, but just short of the first down.
They ever run a fake punt, Tommy, this year?
No, they haven't, but there's still time left in this season. Here we go.
There it is, and there's the fake punt, and carrying the ball is Toy, and he runs for the first down.
Tom Kelly, you were all over that one. You did that once before this year, I think. At least once, maybe twice.
Tom Kelly, the wizard, does a little extra research on the side. I think he might have peeked over the fence this week at one of the Bruin practices.
How many games has he seen, though, UCLA games all year?
This is it, and let me tell you, if I can sit 200 yards away and anticipate that, leading 10-0 with 4 yards to go, then somebody else ought to be able to as well. 13 to go. Well, here's another look at La Chapelle.
Yeah, going back, La Chapelle right there making a fine play, but going back to your point, Tom Kelly, you have a 4th and short SC offense, really wasted an opportunity.
I mean, if you miss it, the Bruins are going to get the ball at their 10, perhaps, huh?
Right.
With a field goal kicker who's a walk-on and hasn't been able to produce. No fair catch, but Conway may have wished he had as he's dropped on the 41-yard line. A 35-yard kick and a 2-yard return. Man who kicked it was Shager. All right, 11:21 to go in the third period. 17-7 UCLA. We'll be back.
Very well, so moved up to see better, and that's when he was taken down. La Chapelle went right around Hollenquist. He was open on that one if he had time or could see him.
Well, that's a tough cover for a linebacker, Sean La Chapelle, I'll tell you. Even though Hollenquist is a player of considerable talent. Back to kick, Shager hits it. A very high hanger. Fair catch is the signal. Taken by Curtis Conway. 38 yards, no return. SC will start at the Trojan 25-yard line. 12:56 remaining in this one. The Bruins lead by 3. Will be now at his own 29-yard line. Third down, back to throw. Sets over the middle. Tipped. Incomplete. Pass intended for La Chapelle. Mike Salmon was there, and chasing it way back downfield was Stephon Pace. And Maddox comes up empty, and the Bruins will kick it back to SC. Well, we've got ourselves a football game. 24-21, a 3-point game. Here's another look.
Well, Maddox, he's looking left. All of a sudden, he spots La Chapelle, but the ball just gets away from him, really. You see, once again, they're doing a little in-and-out coverage on La Chapelle. He comes running across the middle. Free safety Salmon right there to make the play.
You got to put it on his numbers, right, Tom? You got to put it when they go across the middle. If you throw it high, that's what's going to happen. A tip, and a lot of times you get it picked off.
Shager kicks it. Not only that, you may lose that wide receiver as a friend, too, fellas. Fair catch is signaled for by Curtis Conway. 38 yards, no return. Yeah, you stretch that guy out. As good a receiver by the look on his face that he's not too pleased with what he did.
It really wasn't that time. I believe it was Stephon Pace coming out from a strong safety position, really putting a lot of pressure, and La Chapelle not even attempting to go for the ball. You're going to see he's open, and I don't know if Tommy just flat out misses him or he's trying to hit the wideout on the outside.
La Chapelle probably goes to the sidelines and says, listen, Rooms, about 20 minutes ago, you had me over the middle strung out to dry, and now you ignore me. Oh, long time on the punt by Shager. Fair catch, going to take a Bruin bounce and roll inside the 10, the 5. Trojans will start at the 4-yard line. Well, 41 yards, no return, and the Trojans, who've been backed up to the wall all year long, start now at their own 4-yard line. Let's go to Bill McDonald.
All right, fair is fair. We had Pat Hayden earlier, so why not?
Unfortunately, it has been a better year for the Trojans, but there's always next year, right?
Well, hope springs eternal, but thank you. I certainly have enjoyed being with you.
Let's not forget my partner in crime, Bill McDonald, down on the field.
He's dancing on the sidelines now. Now, they're going to kick it. Well, one last gasp. Conway, did he signal for the fair catch? But he fumbled the ball. He'll do well to recover it. At the 7-yard line, SC recovers. They're going to be down at the 10, 90 yards away and 7-7. And down the field, 8 other guys. Perry, as the clock ticks down, 4 seconds. It's in the air, tipped, almost caught, almost intercepted. It's over. The Bruins win it, 24-21. And a joyous, gutty little band from Westwood carries Terry Donahue on their shoulders as he goes over to see Larry Smith. For Terry, it's been a long time between sips, but his Bruins are 8-3 and headed for the Hancock Bowl in El Paso against Illinois.
What an exciting football game. When we started it all, we told you we couldn't promise you a 45-42, but it was a good ball game, and Reggie Perry acquitted himself well as he ran for a touchdown and threw for 2 others. And Tommy Maddox had a good ball game. Didn't do the passing and getting it in the end zone through the air that we expected he would, but Maddox had a fine ball game nonetheless. And the entire Bruin ball club built up a lead that SC could not overcome. We'll be back with the final comment. Final score again, 24-21, UCLA.
It's the final day of 1991, but it will not be the final bowl game here on CBS. We had a great blockbuster bowl on Saturday night. The Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic is coming up tomorrow. But today, the 58th annual John Hancock Bowl takes center stage here in El Paso, Texas. 2 longtime rival conferences set to have at it, the Pac-10 and the Big Ten. It's the Fighting Illini of Illinois against the Bruins of UCLA.
If they have their druthers, they'd love to see Tommy Maddox out there trying to run around.
So Darren Shager into punt, back deep, Philmel Johnson. To try to hang it to the far side. And he got all of this one with a wind at his back into the end zone touchback. 45-yard kick, and Illinois will have it at its own 20-yard line when we come back. Maddox too far out in front of Sean Wills. So again, UCLA gets in Illinois territory and sputters a little.
Keep an eye on Tommy Maddox as he drops here. Right before he throws, you hear the term happy feet. Young, inexperienced quarterbacks get those kind of happy feet. The body gets out of position, and when they do throw, they're throwing more on impulse and urge and aren't mechanically correct. And that time Maddox wasn't able to complete it because he was not mechanically correct.
Darren Shager in to punt. The regular long snapper John Winnick's on the sideline with a bad foot, but still they get the snap back. Shager gets the punt off, and now it takes a great UCLA roll all the way down to the 7-yard line. Going to be a hole for Illinois to try to dig out of when we come back. 12:26 to go in the half. Sideline, Mike.
Sure do, Brad. Troy Aikman led UCLA to 10-game winning seasons in '87 and '88 before being the #1 draft pick in the NFL draft, and has the day off. What do you think your alma mater today?
Well, they're doing all right. It hadn't been quite as wide open as what I thought or what probably the coaches thought, but it's been a good game.
We expected to see a lot more air and a lot more movement of the ball.
Well, I thought so. I think the quarterback for Illinois is an outstanding player, and Tommy Maddox has had a great year, and he's playing well. And so, yeah, I think everybody expected the ball to be thrown.
Well, I've got to ask you, Dallas and Detroit Sunday on CBS. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to have to go with Dallas, obviously. We played them pretty tough when we were there last time. We moved the ball well offensively and defensively. We played well. Our problem was that we turned the ball over 5 times, which really cost us. So.
And you're ready to play if needed?
Well, yeah, I've been ready, and I'm ready to go if that opportunity is presented.
Okay, hope so. Thanks for joining us.
Troy
would have gone for big yardage for Terry Donahue and the Bruins.
Darren Shager to punt. And Philmel Johnson back deep for Illinois. Illinois would like to return the favor and block a kick, but they've got the return on here. Shager, the left footer. Boy, he blasts this thing.
Perfect wind kick. Low, and he drove it.
Drove it a little too far. 54 yards into the end zone. And the Fighting Illini and Jason Verduzco on offense when we come back.
And probably got lucky from the standpoint that he threw that ball into the ground. He was trying to force that thing right into the middle of some coverage again, because LaChapelle had a defender on either shoulder when he threw that ball at him.
There's no more physical impossibility in football, I don't think, than rolling that far right and trying to come back to the middle. Your old buddy Montana maybe can do it. I don't know anybody else that can. Philmel Johnson back deep. Darren Shager to punt. You look behind the left footer. Illinois bringing the pressure. Shager got rid of it. Johnson from the 32. And he got it up to the 40-yard line. So Illinois' field position a little bit better now.
4:13 to go.
East St. Louis, Illinois. Look at that. Clearly overthrown. Well, I take that back.
That's a tough catch.
That's a very, very tough catch. Nice job just getting close to that thing.
Shager now will try to knock one down close. Lays it up into the wind. Got too much of it. Touchback. And Illinois will work from its own 20-yard line with 2 minutes, 21 seconds left in this, the 58th annual John Hancock Bowl. And we continue to go bowling tomorrow on CBS Sports. The Seminole opportunity to say thank you to all the people who helped make the 1991 John Hancock Bowl possible. Representing the Sun Carnival Committee, President Nathan Christian, the Executive Director, Cricket Mush, Chairman of the Host Committee, Jimmy Rogers Jr., Lee Wilson, the Game Day Committee, Pageant Committee, Becky Kissler. Special thanks to John Hancock Financial Services President Bill Boyan, and the University of Illinois and their SID departments, Mike Person from University of California at Los Angeles. The Sports Information Director is Mark Dellins. Our thanks to all of those guys and the many, many folks in El Paso who have made our stay so pleasurable. Here's a punt. And mishandled. Who's going to come up with that one?
Dog pile.
UCLA. Johnson mishandled it, and it's amazing. Randy, we talked to Coach Tepper, and he said I'll have 2 different punt returners, one to make the sure catch and one when I need a return. I think he had the wrong guy in the field.
Mel Johnson is the returner. Camino Bell is the sure-handed guy. And Shager hung that thing up there, got a little wind twist on that ball, and look at him. You don't think this punter, Shager, isn't a little bit happy?
UCLA at the 11. Up. Three-man rush. Verduzco rolls right. He's going to throw short, and some laterals upcoming. Right to one of his linemen, and then a handoff, and it's all over. In fact, the ball loose at the very end, and the Bruins of UCLA, Terry Donahue's club, makes it 8 straight bowl victories.
Down, and Lorenzo Haley, who's had a pretty productive first half, brings him down there, and the Bruins will punt. First punt of the night for Terry Donahue's guys, and Darren Shager will be on. Shager, the 5'11", 198-pound junior. Napoleon Poley Banks is back to receive this kick. Shager beat out Courtney Kyler for the punting tour. 24-yard line. Banks scoots up the middle. Spun down at the 36-yard line. 46-yard boot, 12-yard return. Othello Henderson gets it done on special teams, bringing him down for UCLA. And there is Napoleon Banks, 5'8", 170. And J.J. Stokes had it, dropped it. Throw was a little low, and Stokes couldn't hold on. And it will be 4th down in a punting situation, and the Titans, right out of the chute here in the second half, have held UCLA.
Well, I sense there's a little nervousness on the UCLA sidelines. You really come into the game, Wayne Cook hasn't played, and then all of a sudden, Rob Walker thrust into the position, a 3rd down throw like that. It was a fine throw by Walker.
Foley Banks, fumble, picks it up, down he goes at the 28-yard line. Othello Henderson, his second fine play on the punt coverage team. 43-yard boot, 7-yard loss on the return. Foley Banks after he muffs it.
Foley Banks really just having a tough time back there. And the lighting, if you're not used to it, will play havoc with you sometimes. But Othello right there, starting free safety, also on special teams, doing a great job. And
the question will be asked, will he be ready for BYU? That is Wayne Cook, the starting quarterback for UCLA, went out in the first half with a sprained knee. He is, of course, out for the game in the street clothes now. He was 8 for 13, 155 yards, and a touchdown to J.J. Stokes. He has been replaced by Rob Walker.
Well, it really, one thing you don't want to do as a young quarterback, wait, and then throw late down the middle of the field. And you knew they had a zone defense there. You know there's a guy sitting in the middle of the field. LaChapelle making a fine play to knock the ball loose.
Foley Banks back.
Foley Banks at his own 10. Calls for the fair catch, and he grabs it at the 10-yard line. We're going to slip away here from the Rose Bowl. Don't you move. 9:06 to play in the game, and the Bruins with the stopped at midfield. We've got 16 seconds left, and that should be that. And Cal State Fullerton comes in and has a respectable showing against UCLA, and Terry Donahue's team goes 1-0, the number 16 team in the country, and they will move on and play BYU next week. That's it. The final score from the Rose Bowl. UCLA 37, and the Titans of Cal State Fullerton 14 as the two coaches meet.
Right there, and a couple others come in and clean him up.
Jameer, 6'4", 233, and a sophomore. Loss of...
Spun around, and right here, if he ducks up inside, he might have a chance, but picked up a nice block there by J.J. Stokes, I believe.
You'll enjoy watching LaChapelle all season long. He runs so well after he makes the catch. There's a pretty good punt by Shager all the way back to the 20-yard line. It's brought up to the 31-yard line.
They kick on the 21-yard line, gets out to the...
Shager that time really driving the football.
Tackle was made by
51-yard punt, 10-yard return.
And number 9.
And Sean LaChapelle will get a breather on a very warm day here in Provo. We're going to take a break, be right back. Minute and a half left in the first quarter. UCLA on top. Third down. Under pressure. Walker. Down he goes. Lenny Gomes and Brad Hunter bury Rob Walker. Punting time, UCLA.
Coach Homer Smith, knowing that Walker had gained a little confidence throwing the ball, I'm sure wanted to give him an opportunity. But right there, just a heavy rush, and Gomes making the sack that time.
And Brad Hunter, second sack for Hunter on the season. Shager back to punt, standing at his own 18. Mike Johnston.
Shager punting for UCLA.
Driven all the way back. Great punt, 16-yard line. And not a lot of room to run. So the special teams shine again for UCLA. 51-yard boot, just a 7-yard return. And the Bruins will take that exchange. Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, I think his pitch, and Clark just waiting for him.
Clark started his BYU career back in 1986, then went on his mission to Brussels, and has restarted his career, and he's now a senior. One thing about Lavelle years ago in a 45-38 victory over BYU that really put San Diego State in line for the Holiday Bowl, because BYU would have to beat San Diego State cleanly. They could not tie San Diego State in the standings and go. Mike Pagne will kick it off. Taken at the goal line. And hit hard at the 20-yard line is number 25, and that's Steve Christensen.
Tackle is made by number 23, Donnie Edwards.
And we'll see who's at quarterback, and it'll be Clements again for BYU. The scoring drive for UCLA, 13 plays, 77 yards, and it took 5:15. Capped off by Darren Washington's second touchdown of the year, a 3-yard run. And UCLA leads 10-0 on a gorgeous day in Provo.
It's a nice safe throw, trying to get the ball to Sean up the field, and if he makes the catch, it's great. It's a first down, and if not, it's punt time. Let Shager boot another one.
And Shager has had a tremendous afternoon.
You see right there, 3-step drop, and it might have just been a hand signal. LaChapelle possibly could have called that, thinking he could work over the top of Patrick Mitchell, number 30.
Shager averaging 51 for his 2 punts. Johnston standing back at the 25. The left-footed boot is a great one again at the 18-yard line. And Johnston belted at the 24. 49-yard punt. Might go a little further due to the air up here, the altitude. Somebody asked Harry
LaChapelle just able to get his fingertips on the ball, but McCullum right there making a fine play.
And do you feel the complexion changing a bit? I'm sure the Bruins and the Cougars both do. Mike Johnston back. Shager. This can be returned.
Johnston into Bruin territory down to the 48-yard line. 41-yard punt, 12-yard return. And the fortunes right now of BYU soaring here in the third quarter. 17-3 UCLA. Walsh, quick throw, going to be intercepted by UCLA, Michael Williams. And Williams out to the 12-yard line. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and Williams was just waiting on it. And the Bruins turn away BYU in a huge defensive stand. 3:54 remaining in the third. It's still 17-3 UCLA.
Well, UCLA defense just playing a great defense.
Williams and Khalif Carter behind Rob Walker. Kevin Williams. Got to get outside. He's not going to get there. The second team all-WAC performer, Shad Hansen, who shattered all the defensive records here at BYU last year. The big stop on third down, and Shager will come in and punt.
Yeah, BYU's defense that time really stringing out the sweep, allowing Shad Hansen to pursue and run down Kevin Williams.
And Shager back punt.
Mike Johnston.
Deep for the Cougars.
Little pressure that time. Shager goes down. No flag. And Johnston gets swarmed under at the 25. Shager did a little act back at about the 30-yard line, hoping to draw a roughing penalty. He didn't get it. 37-yard effort, and that's what Terry Donahue was barking about. He thinks there should have been a flag on the play.
Looks like Jason Green, number 91.
In the third period, Air Force 35, Wyoming 7.
Down on the play. Couldn't really see what happened.
I think Green was in on the tackle. I think he was one of the two Bruins in on the tackle. Rough or no?
31, Illinois 13.
Well, I really think he had a chance to block it. Doug Stone, number 51, had an opportunity to block the kick.
It looked as though he was trying to avoid Shager, however.
Yeah, and then he made a good effort to avoid. I think the referee just let it breeze by. No flag.
A correct non-call
Southern California 20
by the officials. 14:20 to play.
And Marv Goodwin, 22, is back in the game. Good news for the Bruins.
And we have a timeout called by UCLA. So everybody will get set, and we'll try it again when we come back. It's 17-10 Bruins with just over 9 minutes left.
Naked pass by Rob Walker, and LaChapelle just takes it up deep, and Walker having to throw up his back foot. LaChapelle almost coming down with a great catch.
That was Hassan McCullough that he had beat. Shager needs a big kick here and gets it again. Down to the 15-yard line. One of the most improved aspects of the Bruins this year, their special teams. And Johnston goes down in a heap. 49 yards for Shager. The word on Walsh, Provo, Utah after this. Don't you go away. UCLA wins it 17-10.
He is the reason we are here at the Rose Bowl today. The Aztecs running back. Giving you these aerial pictures, today's pilot, Tom Mattis from Huntington Beach, California. Ray Peterson is the man deep for Darren Shager's punt. Takes it back at the 35. Peterson's a wide out. He can run, but good pursuit by UCLA. He's got about a 3-yard return after a 44-yard punt by Darren Shager. 15 seconds to play.
With the football, and Rick Daly knew that he had been whistled down, so he really wasn't too concerned, but that time UCLA short of the first down.
And the Bruins will have to punt. Junior Darren Shager comes on off to a great start in 92, averaging nearly 44.5 yards a punt.
Yeah, he really is having a fine year and really boomed a couple at the altitude a week ago against BYU.
See how he booms them in the heat. Peterson is deep. He will take it at 35, going right. Cannot turn the corner, and down he goes under a swarm of Bruins at the 38-yard line. 44-yard punt, 4-yard return. Shane Jasper led the charge.
To the first down.
Glover's an outstanding freshman that Al Luganville thinks is going to be a fine player.
for the Aztecs. Second punt of the day for Darren Shager. His first one was 44. Ray Peterson waiting for it. That's a tail dragger. It ought to bounce pretty well. He does. He forced to take it back at the 8-yard line. Gets a block on the corner. And a fine return out to about the 25-yard line. A 45-yard punt and an 18-yard return for San Diego State.
Number 92, Leroy Glover. Now remember that name. He is going to be a sensational player at San Diego State. Highly touted, Leroy Glover.
Well, what UCLA has to do is sustain drives in the second half. They were unable to a week ago against BYU, and San Diego State knows full aware that they may tire in the second half.
Here's one of the great weapons this year, Shager with the left foot. Peterson back. Not a great punt, but it's going to work well. Peterson takes it at the 8-yard line. He's got some room. Hit from behind and down at the 25. 45-yard punt. That includes the roll. 18-yard return. And we will take a break. San Diego State gets
this week.
And won the first
and
week.
A big one against Fullerton as well. And Darren Washington, really credit the offensive line. Bill, the offensive line is doing a great job pushing the defensive backs. And
so it'll be 4th down and 5, and the third punt of the day for Darren Shager. Ray Peterson waits for it. He should give San Diego State pretty good field position if he handles it. Good high-hanging kick, though, and forces a fair catch call, but still, that's pretty good field position. Up around the 40-yard line, a 36-yard punt with no return, and here's the penalty flag.
And the Bruins will have to punt. So on a 4th and 2, Milliner loses 5 as Sean Smith wraps him up.
Loss of 3 yards.
Here's number 99.
4th and 5.
New Jersey. Clock continues to move. By the time the Aztecs get it again, it will probably be under 11 minutes. Peterson back to receive. Shager's punt. Ray Peterson back at his 35. Calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 39.
Fair catch by Ray Peterson.
We will take another break right here.
All right, 3rd and long. I got to make a play. He gets hit. Just take it down. Don't do this. Oh, no, you never want to do that. But he's got to go through these things. He's got to experience them. UCLA was lucky that wasn't picked off.
Shager's punt's a pretty good one. Going to be returned by Peterson, but not very far. 42-yard punt, a 2-yard return, 9:54 to play in the ball game, and the Bruins lead by 14 at 21-7.
Just in a zone coverage, and Rob, his arm's already caught in the air. It's better to just eat the ball right there, and he throws the ball, and Provençal almost making the pick. Wow.
Shager's punt. Peterson at the 40. Check at the 35, and down he goes at the 36. Great coverage again by UCLA. 41-yard punt, just a yard on the return. Marvin Goodwin led the Bruins. San Diego State.
Half this game, he wasn't real productive, but in the second half, he's made some real timely throws, 2 touchdowns. I really say he's getting a big spark of confidence.
And now the conference will begin next week. A lot of people said UCLA was dominate the San Diego State Aztecs. Final score, 35-7. Back to wrap things up for the Rose Bowl.
Live from Arizona Stadium in Tucson, Arizona, Prime Network presents the Pac-10. 3 and out for UCLA.
Real important mental boost for the Wildcats, Phil. This is their strength of their team is the defense. To stop UCLA on the first drive, especially that far back inside the 30, is really an advantage early in the game.
Now you saw Shager's average thus far this year, 44.5 yards every time he puts his foot on the ball. And it's Terry Vaughn. Picks it up on the second hop, almost loses the football, uses the referee as interference, and he's going nowhere. Great downfield coverage by UCLA, and now a flag comes in from about 10 yards away. The tackle was made by Rick Daly. We'll wait to see what the flag is all about.
Elected to take the ball downfield. As you see LaChapelle turn up. Bowie just about getting the height to get up there. Had it bounced off his hands into LaChapelle, it would have been a touchdown.
Here is Darren Shager. It's a good one. Terry Vaughn at his 37. No fair catch. He'll move it up across the 42. There's a gutty effort on the part of Terry Vaughn. All Pac-10 return specialist a year ago. Stay with us at halftime as we present College Football Today's halftime.
A little bit from the accomplishment for Sean. He wanted to get better field position, was going for the first down, just short.
Darren Shager to Terry Vaughn at the 35. Picks his way up to the 39. A 43-yard punt, a 5-yard return, and Donnie Edwards knocks him down. 4:39 to play.
There on Stokes, and I think that Walker expected a slant. Stokes stopped, he threw it out in front of him as if expecting him to keep going.
Arizona show and block, but now they drop into coverage, and oh, does Darren Shager sky it. Terry Vaughn backtracking at the 20. His right leg went out from under him at the 28-yard line, and he was covered by Tommy Bennett.
You know, I like to watch special teams, Phil. These guys going down over to Arizona, and Teddy Bruschi just about caught him from behind, and I'm going to say that I didn't get his number, but there was a guy that looked awfully close, like he was holding Bruschi, or that might have been a sack. Nonetheless, not a first down. They have to punt it away.
Shager. He puts it up, and it's a beauty. Terry Vaughn at the 12. Fair catch. He's got it. Now, we showed you a moment ago that Stanford Notre Dame.
Walker had to get rid of that ball. Morrison there, Bowie there. Tremendous coverage.
Darren Shager. He booms it. Vaughn will move away. The ball, oh, it takes a UCLA bounce and goes out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Arizona will have it.
Last play, Arizona showed a 4-man front. And when they can penetrate that quickly and get that deep in the backfield, you know that UCLA said, we've got some problems, we've got some things to fix. We've got a very short while to figure it out.
Well, Arizona got on the scoreboard first in the first period, a 3-yard reception by Roderick Lewis. McLaughlin hit a 50-yard field goal to make it 10-0, and then UCLA has been trying to get back in it ever since. Shager's punt to Vaughn at the 15-yard line, still on his feet, tucks it in at the 21. And with 1 minute and 6 seconds to play, the Wildcats will have the football once again. He got right into the chest of Williams and shoved him out of bounds. UCLA, the touchdown off the board, and now they've got to punt it away.
You think this Wildcat audience, the crowd here, likes their defense? You know, when you're a player, it's sort of waves of emotion coming down out of the stand, just sort of you're basking, it sort of covers you. It really fires you up, and that's what's happening in Arizona right now.
Darren Shager, the 5'11" sophomore punter from Rosemead, will put it in the air again. Vaughn. He beaks the Bruins. It'll go into the end zone for a touchback. And Arizona will have it at their 20-yard line with 1:58 to play in the third quarter.
Coach Donahue trying to get everybody fired up, going up and down the line of scrimmage, talking to his...
Tonight's quarter notes are brought to you by Great Western. Now UCLA, keep in mind 242 consecutive games in which they have scored. That is in jeopardy tonight. McLaughlin has been perfect tonight. 3 field goals in the game, and just look at UCLA's rushing yardage. For the game, 33 yards. On 4th down and 4, UCLA is showing punt. Tony Bowie is back at the 11. Bowie falls for the fair catch. And he'll take it at the 6-yard line, and the flag is going to go down. The Bruins didn't give him a couple of yards to make the catch.
Well, you got to give him room. Donahue needing a score here.
Now there's the streak. That's an NCAA record. You're right. It's absolutely incredible. That goes back to 1971. Where were you in 71?
Oh, let's see. Where was I? Oh, I was just going to the University of Oregon, just entering University of Oregon. And I can promise you that I've not been on a team that has gone not gone scoreless in 242 games.
You mean to tell me the Patriots were shut out while you played for them?
Once or twice, but you know, the 49ers came real close. Not 242 games worth though.
UCLA, ranked number 11 in the nation, on the threshold of a top 10 ranking. Defeated by the Wildcats of
UCLA, we played nearly 4 minutes. The series history between these two teams, Bruins lead it. Terry Donahue 1-1 versus Bill Walsh. The series goes back quite a few years. Donahue was 9-7 against the Cardinal, 3-2-0 in the Rose Bowl.
Knocking the ball down.
There's a good look at Fisk, part of that trio up front that has played very well. Darren Shager, first in the Pac-10 in punting, 11th in the country, 44.2 average. Milburn is back. Fair catches it at the 16-yard line, and Milburn comes into the game with an average of 17 yards a return. Another solid punt for Shager, 45 yards on that boot. 3-0, Stanford over UCLA, 7:50.
Like he had a chance to catch the ball, but just one more. We're going to see the play before last. LaChapelle takes a late hit. And they know his ribs are just a little tender, and they're gonna stay after him the entire game.
Joe's kid, Coy, got him late on that play. Shager's punt. This is returnable, and here comes Milburn. He's all the way out past the 40. Milburn could go. Glenn Milburn's going to score. 75 yards, touchdown, Stanford.
I'll tell you what happens on a great punt, which Shager just hit. It was a great punt. He outkicked the coverage. And what ends up happening, you're going to see he gets the ball so early, no Bruins are 10 yards near him, and then all of a sudden he turns on the Jets, he picks up a couple blocks, and Lynch right there, number 17, he's going to mow down Shager, and Shager's out of the picture, and he was down hurt for a minute, but Milburn right there, that's how explosive he is, taking it all the way back for the score.
Fifth.
Intending to Khalif Carter, and I know Coach Donahue, he's probably wondering, not again, and not my fullback. Can't afford to lose Khalif Carter, especially if they're going to run any triple I or the power I, which we saw just a minute ago. Khalif Carter, such an... Gideon was the one who just slammed into Fisk, making him unable to catch the ball.
Do you kick it to Milburn, or do you kick it away from him?
Well, I would kick it away from him.
Well, Shager, a bad boot, and it's going to roll towards Milburn now, away from him, and will be down at about the 31-yard line. A lot of teams have been kicking away from Milburn, saying, we don't want to deal with it. 40 yards with the roll. Take a break, be right back. 10 birds. And Terry Donahue's Bruins will have to punt. Their offense has sputtered now for the last 6 quarters. 9:04 remaining, second quarter, 10-0 Cardinal. And Shager will punt, standing back at his own 5, and there is Milburn. Already scored on a punt return this evening if you're joining us late. And the average continues to go up. He's on track to become the all-time leader in punt return average in Stanford history. 40-yard punt by Shager. No return. And Stanford will have control of it again.
Well, Shager doing a good job not getting a great bounce that time, but at least not allowing Milburn to touch the ball and return it.
Stenstrom, second in the Pac-10. Efficiency continue to play well. Milburn may be coming back as they check him out. Let's see if we could see maybe where he got hurt. You can see Gray, and right there, boy, a hit just a bit late by Rod Smalley.
Rod Smalley really bringing the hammer that time. UCLA unsuccessful on third down. Walker to Darren Washington just coming up short.
Granado is back to take it. Ozzy's got it at the 25. Granado down at the 30. It's Granado, not Granado, as in Tony, the hockey player with the Kings.
But he really does have a grasp of the offense. He's doing his part, but it's an 11-man game. Other guys have to go out and execute. They have to get the blocks. Washington has to go ahead and push ahead for the first down, but just unable to that time.
As expected, the fans don't like the decision, and Milburn is back at the 20. Shager to punt. Good one. Fair catch called number 19. That's a great punt by Shager. 45 yards, good hang time, no return. And that's what you want when Glenn Milburn is back there, as Tom pointed out. He just outkicked the coverage when Milburn ran it back 75 yards for the score. 6:07. Glenn Milburn of Billy Whitman there along with Jason Fix and others.
Now again, give credit. I'm sorry, Bill. Again, give credit to the Stanford defense, ranked number 1 in the Pac-10, and UCLA not far behind.
Milburn, will he get another opportunity? No, he's going to wait for a fair catch. They've got to give him a couple of yards. They do. 33-yard punt. Once again, no return, and that's what you want. Distance is not really as much of a factor as don't let Glenn Milburn return the football, and that's exactly what happens there again.
Absolutely. Good hang time by Shager, who's doing a really great job tonight, except for the one time when he really outkicked his coverage, and Milburn was right there to take full advantage of it, racing 75 yards for the score.
There's Steve Stenstrom last year when his first 7 starts, the first 2, and it'll be 4th down. And Terry Donahue has to wipe the sweat away because he's staring his second loss in a row right in his face.
Going to see Walker again, a little time to throw this time. He gets hit late.
And then his own guy falls on him.
Yeah, Von Parker, 6'3.5", 271 of him.
A load. Shager will let it loose at about the 15. Not a good one. All the way up to the 42. The fair catch by Milburn. Only 32 yards, which is subpar for Shager, who's averaging, what is Shager averaging? 44.5.
Yeah, Shager's had a fine night tonight. He really, with the exception of the one punt that really he boomed and it got away from, having a good night on the punting scene.
Stenstrom back in, so he did miss. Final score, 19-7, Stanford. Washington, Prime Ticket presents UCLA College Football. Today, 2 top rivals in the Pac-10 meet as the Cougars of Washington State play host to the Bruins of UCLA. This is a near-capacity crowd. Homecoming here at Martin Stadium, and it gets noisy, Tom.
Well, you can't fault John Barnes right there. They're taking a nice chance. Actually, 3rd and 11. I thought they might run another draw just to throw Washington State off, but he went back, set up well. Timing was nice. The receiver just fell down.
Once again, with Barnes and Fiend, they will get a minimal amount of the offense. Shager will punt at the 42. That's Philip Bobo, their great all-purpose player, and he's out of bounds at about the 39. Now we get a chance to see one of the top, if not the top, quarter 24, the sophomore corner.
Right there, UCLA spread out. They're really not going to be able to make a living throwing the fade up the field on 3rd down. And John Barnes knows that, and I'm sure Coach Terry Donahue telling him right there, hey, you're going to have to come off to something else, a route adjustment of some kind. The fade's not going to get it done every time.
Shager having a good year. Took over towards the end of the year from Courtney Kyler, doing the punting chores for UCLA last season. Bobo at the 8-yard line. So in the war of field position right now, the battle is being won by UCLA. Take a break, be back, don't you move. No score. Playing linebacker at WSU.
UCLA trying to get it done the hard way. Brian Ford, you see, shooting the gap there, but running a pitch play on 3rd and 1. And UCLA electing this time on 4th and very short. They bring out Darren Shager to punt it away.
Again, I know nothing or little as they do punt, but a great stop there by the Cougar defense. Bruins had 2nd down and less than 1, and they are denied. Shager, so consistent. You can see by the numbers. Bruins should win back Washington State here. This might be a delay on UCLA to give themselves 5 extra yards for Shager to boot. We'll do it all over again. If you like offense, I think you've come to the right game. Because last 5 meetings between these two teams, at least one team has scored 30 points, so look out. Usually somebody lights it up, if not both teams. Bobo is back, standing at his 10. awaiting the punt by the left-footed Shager. Kicking it away from Bobo and out of bounds. That's great stuff by the punter for UCLA. Out of bounds at the 5, kicking it away from the talented Bobo and putting it into the corner. Going to take a timeout, be right back. 12:47 remaining in the half, 7-6 UCLA.
Down he goes! Ray Hall with the sack.
Ray Hall just comes clean again right here. You're going to see he just runs right by Ron Nielsen. Actually, number 76, Derek Stevens, missed him. And Ray Hall just comes clean and puts a crushing hit on Fiend. Wow.
Clean on Fiend. Great punt again by Shager. Bobo at the 43. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Fumble! UCLA's got it. Michael Williams. Touchdown, UCLA. How it turns so quickly. Unbelievable.
Well, right here, the name of the game being turnovers and execution. Shager just with another great punt, and really it has to be attributed to him, and it's a great job. Pernicke's down. He's trying to cut him off, and Bobo just tries to make too many moves. Donnie Edwards takes care of him, and Michael Williams, number 14, just scoops it up and races to the end zone. Touchdown, Bruins.
We have had some strange plays already in this one, and big plays by special teams and the defensive units.
Yeah, Tommy Bennett, number 8, right there. McClave also. And Gamble's calling it as he sees it.
And he saw it correctly. Luis Perez on to tie it up. Wow. 4:49 remaining in the half, and we are tied at 14.
And they almost created another bad play. Dwayne Patterson and Mobley, of course, over there to make a big hit on Washington.
I think I said Fiend. Of course, it was Washington. Shager, who has been instrumental in the Bruins' play so far. Another great kick turns this one over. Sends Bobo back to the 20. Bobo's got room, and then down he goes at the 32. Tommy Bennett makes the stop. Time to take a break. Be right back to on the coverage. There's Torrey, the excellent corner with great recovery speed. Brian Ford put some good pressure on Fiend.
Yeah, big number 69, Brian Ford, just mowing down Brian Fiend. And I really believe the UCLA offensive line struggling again, trying to protect the passer. They've really given up a lot of ground that time, and people right in the face of Ryan Fiend.
Shager, been a busy boy. Bobo wants to come back with this one. Scratching and clawing and crawling out to about the 45-yard line. Paul Pernicke, the snapper, comes all the way down to make the play. Good play by Paul on special teams. There he is. Big job this year as the long snapper on punts and place kicks for UCLA. They'll have to punt it away.
Yeah, Darren Shager has been one of their most potent offensive weapons all day long. He comes out to the field once again.
And, you know, not to harp on a point, but you take away one play, Kevin Williams romping over 70 yards, and a fumble, and you've got nothing really offensively for UCLA. A big egg. Shager. Bobo trying to dance. Not this time. Robert Gamble makes the play. 38-yard punt by Shager. Not one of his better efforts, but he can be excused because of his sensational year up to this point. 28-17, Bledsoe back.
Just sometimes as a player right there, you see Fiend falling away, throwing off balance. Is built at throwing into triple coverage. Not a great decision, although Mike Wynn, had he caught the ball, he was far enough for the first down, but really not even close to completing it.
This one's going to get a beautiful Bruin bounce to the 14. And we will break
people. That time they brought 8, and the UCLA pocket just started collapsing. Ryan Feen just saw so much color. He tried to get out and, of course, tripped over someone's leg and went down for the sack.
Bobo at the 44.
I'm sure he told him, hey, you had him beat. Keep running right there. You're right there. You see him stop, and
boy, keep running. You have the football.
If he keeps, it's really actually one of those tough catches. It comes in over your head, and he really had to make an adjustment. And I'm sure he hadn't had to before, and not able to come down with it.
This is a good punt to the 13-yard line. Bobo has it, but the Bruins. That's Hunter actually. Hunter that time with the fair catch.
The only thing it hurts,
or led to the 30.
The only thing it hurts is their scoring defensive average. Other than that, yards against, passing, rushing, those numbers really not affected much.
Now the Bruins will have to give it up. They can either kick it or punt it. Most teams punt the ball away, as Shager will do right here from the 20. That's the cornerback, Torrey Hunter. Donovan Gallatin down on special teams for UCLA. 2 touchdowns. You have 3 minutes to play. The Bruins apparently going to kick it away.
I think you have to punt it and let your defense get back on the field again and try and make a big play for you.
Or hope for a turnover right here, and another Bobo miscue. The ref threw a nice block. Bobo went right, used him well. This 30-17 Cougars to the Sun Devils of Arizona State. This the final conference game. We'll have to punt the football away.
3rd and 21, there's not a lot you can do, and right here they're trying to get something, help Darren Shager out. You see Darren Washington really nowhere to run. Hooks right there, puts a helmet on the ball, and it comes out, but Washington falls right back on top of it.
Shager will punt, the sophomore second in Pac-10 punting, average of 43-1. And Eric Gulliford, a great one, signals for the fair catch back at the 17.5-yard line. 42-yard punt by Shager, no return. We're going to take a break, be right back. 10:33 remaining, first quarter, no score, and Brown will force a UCLA punt. No gain on the completion. It'll be 4th down, and we are halfway through the quarter, and neither team getting things going offensively here in the early going. Shager back to kick. Shager has been consistent. He's averaged over 41 yards punting in all 6 games. Gulliford takes it at the 12. Scoots outside and out of bounds at the 16-yard line. 39-yard punt, 4-yard return by Gulliford. Robert Gamble makes the stop. Be right back to the Rose Bowl. No score.
Mark Brown, you see him. He's basically the rover back. He almost intercepts the pitch, and Darren Washington does a great job just being able to hang on to it, but they take a big loss.
Shager one more time. His 3rd punt already of the night. High snap. Gulliford. Fair catch. Takes it at the 18-yard line. 33 yards, Darren Shager. Take another break. Be right back to the road. And once again, the Bruins must punt. 11:46 remaining in a defensive-oriented first half here at the Rose Bowl. Gulliford at midfield. Shager will punt. He tied the school record punting 11 times last week, and this is already his 4th, so he may take a run at that before this night is over. And that is not a Darren Shager punt. Only out to about the 41-yard line. Now marked all the way down to the 38-yard line. So it's a 25-yard effort. And the Sun Devils in business.
Arizona State that time coming with a lot of pressure, making Shager kick it a little quick and not coming up with a big kick, as you said, Bill.
Sun Devils on offense. They have really come to life on that side of Feen. Punting time, UCLA.
Shante Carver, awfully big man. You see Feen standing back in the shotgun, and Arizona State again, just great pressure on the quarterback that time. You see Ogden trying to get a block on Carver, unable to, and Carver once again dragging Feen down.
Busiest man in America, Darren Shager. Punts it to Gulliford, and he calls for the fair catch at the 34-yard line. 37-yard punt once again for Shager. And Gulliford doesn't get a chance to return it. 6.5 remaining here in the first half. 7-0 Arizona State, trying to even things up on their conference slate, trying to get to 2-2, and the Bruins trying to win their first conference game. Let's go down to Paul on the sideline. Sunday.
All right, thanks, Billy. You're looking at Cast.
Really, Brian Fiend really doesn't know what kind of coverages he's seeing out there. He throws it into double coverage. He has man on the other side. Mike Wynn was standing out there, ran a turn route. Didn't see him, went to the double coverage side.
Shager's 6th punt. This is not one of his better nights punting, as I mentioned. He hasn't been below 41 on an average yet this year. Gulliford, fair catch again at the 47-yard line. 35-yard punt, but the key there is no return by Gulliford, who is a dangerous one. We've seen a couple of dangerous returners this year. Of course, Glenn Milburn immediately comes to mind again. Shager on for UCLA to punt it away, and Gulliford at midfield. Israel Stanley, 6'3" and a senior. Shager's 7th punt. The average below what you might expect, but Gulliford really hasn't had an opportunity to bring one back.
That's right. Gulliford having been forced into a fair catch mode tonight, but Shager really needs to bang one down.
Line drive returnable at midfield. Gulliford will get about 7. In comes a flag. That should be an illegal block the way that was looking. 32-yard punt, 5-yard return, and Othello Henderson another special teams tackle. He is one of 4 players to man the UCLA quarterback position in this unusual and frustrating season. John Barnes showed some signs of leadership in the waning minutes of last week's loss to Arizona State. Today, he's the one and only experienced quarterback left. The defense, on the other hand, is getting plenty of experience. However, they have managed to stay one of the top dozen defensive teams.
The guard, all of a sudden, Nowitzki's asked to pull out on a bootleg. He gets right back in John Barnes' face, and he really couldn't get a good ball off to Daly.
Darren Shager, we've been talking about the good year that he's been having. Back for Cal, Wolf Barber, standing back at his 27. Shager with the left foot, good rush, but he gets it away. Barber has no friends back there, but he'll give it a go. No, he won't. Fair catch at the 26. I was going to say, about 8 white shirts and nothing else in Wolf Barber's face. And it'll be first down for Cal. They lead.
Really, they want to put Jonathan Ogden on an island out there and have a guy like Roseman. Roseman goes about 6'4", 235, and that's a lot less than Johnny Ogden's 325.
Shager again. Here's the rush. Barber will try to return this one, but he's going nowhere, down at about the 29-yard line.
Guards gets knocked off, really, and boy, Alexander just takes a tremendous shot, and they do come up short. They don't get the first down.
And Shager will have to punt it away, standing in his own end zone. And Wolf Barber will be standing at around midfield. Shager was taking over this year. Colton Kyler did most of the punting duties last year. Barber at the 46 of Cal has some room and gets to the 39-yard line of UCLA. So pretty good return. Bradley Craig does the duty for UCLA special teams.
Right there, a pump fake to the left, and he comes back. All of a sudden, he sees Stokes, who has his man beat. And I'm telling you, if he catches this, he's not going to be caught for a while, and he just flat out drops it.
Wolf Barber back at the 42. Wolf was given that name because he was simply a hairy baby. It's true. He's got it at the 39. Conquer's parents. There he is at the 39 for the Wolf man, and Daly takes him down, the tight end. 44-yard punt for Shager. You would have double-digit completions, but just over 100 yards because you weren't completing a big play. Shager again.
Well, a lot of work by Shager this afternoon.
How about the last month? 5.5 to play. Wolf Barber muffs it. Still loose, out of bounds. That's all he was hoping for. Just get out of bounds. That wasn't Wolf Barber either. That was Edwards. Not number 8, but number 9. for the Wolf Barber fan club. My apologies. It's Edwards on the muff. Tyrone, his first name, a 6'2" safety. It's going to be one of those guys when, even now, especially in the next couple of years, coaches are going to say, now where did he come from? How did I miss him? Shager. Good punt. Wolf Barber, fair catch at the 46. Stadium, Strawberry Canyon. UCLA loses to Cal, 48-12. Prime Ticket presents UCLA football. Today, the Bruins play host to the Beavers of Oregon State University.
Beavers coming at him, but Barnes just unable to see down the field, and Chad DeSully right on top of him quickly.
Darren Shager will punt for UCLA. Dwayne Owens, 7th in Pac-10. Punt returns back to get it. A great kick. He's at the 5, trying to jitterbug out of trouble, and here comes Owens. Owens across the 40, cuts through. Dwayne Owens, touchdown, Oregon State, 97 yards. How do you do?
Just an unbelievable run by Dwayne Owens. Unbelievable. Now, a coach never says catch the ball inside the 10-yard line, and then he's just standing there. UCLA's best tacklers, Nkosi Littleton, Othello Henderson, Donnie Edwards, everybody misses him, and Owens just takes it off to the races. He's going to pick up a block here and there, and really the last guy that has a chance is Michael Williams, and he gets bumped right there, and Donovan Gallatin right there. That's one way to go in the end zone.
A little tired, I think, at the end.
Aggressive player, as you said.
And it is 4th down after the sack. William Ephraim watches this one bounce. Then he picks it up. You want to talk about a dangerous play. Ephraim just showed it to you. And then he's got the massive humanity on top of him. 44-yard punt, a 2-yard return, and it probably hurt, too. Back with
Mike Wynn on that big gainer. And, of course, Luis Perez putting it through the uprights.
Just got word from Mark Dellin, Sports Information Director. Here in the first half of action, Oregon State offensively really didn't do anything, but special teams-wise, they certainly did. Dwayne Owens, after this big punt by Shager, 97 yards and a score.
Well, you see everyone, he has Bruins all around him, but he makes a couple quick moves, and all of a sudden, it's off to the races. He picks up a block or two. The last chance really is Michael Williams, and he gets bumped off before he can make the tackle.
And he will just get into the end zone, too. I think right about here, he wants nothing more than to take a little respite. But Owens' longest punt return.
A real quick option on 3rd and a bunch. But if UCLA's ever had a bad quarter statistically, it's the 3rd quarter. They've been outscored by 30 points by their opponents, 50 points to 20. And that's quite a swing.
That is a good point. I starred that to make mention of it because this has been the weakest quarter for UCLA. Big punt again. It was a big punt that Owens ran back before for a touchdown. This time UCLA all over him. Bennett is one of them. 53-yard boot. Shager says, I love it. We're going to be back with more in a moment. Oregon State.
Wynn down the middle, right there, really double teamed. He tried to place the ball on Wynn's backside pocket, but Wynn unable to come up with the ball. Would have been a first down for the Bruins had he been able to catch the ball.
Shager with a long of 56. That's Ephraim back. Calls for a fair catch and grabs it at the 10-yard line. 44 yards and unreturnable by Shager, who has done a marvelous job pinning the other team inside the 20-yard line. In fact, coming into the game, he had 13 punts, pinning the opposition inside the 20, and 12 in his last 5 games. So in the conference, Shager has done the job. You know, sometimes that gets forgotten if you just look at somebody's average, but if they're getting that punt unreturnable inside the 20, that's a job well done.
Yeah, there has been one bright spot for the Bruins offensively. It's been their kickers, Perez and Shager, really doing well. Had either one of them faltered, it would have made it that much tougher on the defense, but really they've been the bright spot, the lone bright spot.
Olford brings them out again. Tom Ramsey, you mentioned it. A couple of bright spots this year in a down year for UCLA. Darren Shager just walked out of the picture. He's one of them, the punter. And Luis Perez getting congratulated by J.J. Stokes. He's another.
Absolutely. I mean, Perez has done everything asked of him and more this year, and really the big scoring threat tonight for the Bruins.
Oregon State Monday at UCLA. Going to be back with more in a moment. Final for the Rose Bowl. The Bruins stop their slide and beat the Beavers 20.
More comfortable with Rob Walker under center. He brings in a couple wins under his belt. Nothing against John Barnes, and Barnes will be ready.
A bright spot for the Bruins in a dismal season really has been the kicking game, both punting and place kicking. And I'm speaking specifically of Luis Perez and Darren Shager.
Luis Perez really great inside of 40 yards right there. You see it perfect on the season, 10 for 10. And, of course, 4 field goals a week ago. And, of course, Darren Shager really doing a great job in the Pac-10.
On the downside, the punt and kick. Farwell was there too, and it will be 4th down, punting time, UCLA.
Right here, the game's won and lost right up in the trench. I know it's an overused statement, but right here, UCLA trying to run the counter action that was so successful a week ago for him. Right there, Alexander stopped by the Duck defense.
He ran into Cummins first off, and then Farwell and Jones finished him off. Ronnie Harris is back standing at his own 36, and he is a good one. Shager. This one will go out of bounds. Actually, that's not too bad considering the kind of return man that Harris is. Averaging 13 yards a punt return. Now it's time for...
Wants to get rid of the ball.
We have yet to play 5 minutes, and UCLA will punt for the second time. Sophomore Darren Shager, 4th in Pac-10 punting, averaging over 42 yards a kick. There's Ronnie Harris. He has a long of 87 for a touchdown against UNLV this year. Last week, he returned one over 60 yards against Cal to set up a touchdown, but right here, he'll fair catch at the 42-yard line. So a good kick by Shager for the fact that it was not returned, but there is a flag down. A flag down back at the 12-yard line. Talking about what they're majoring in. It'll be 4th down as Rob Walker goes to the sideline. 3rd punt already for Shager. But, of course, one was called back now that we think about it because of the penalty. I was going to say Darren's been out there quite a bit. There's Ronnie Harris. 9:09 clock running, first quarter, no score. Harris will bring this one back. Down he goes, Donnie Edwards. Good play by Edwards, has him down at the 33.5. Gonna take a break, be right.
3rd and extra long. Give the ball, try and get it to Kevin Williams and make something happen, but Bandison, big number 97, number 2 tackler on the team, having a great year making the hit on him.
And you saw Kevin Williams, yes, he is back, and will be worked into the lineup. Shager again, putting out of his own end zone. Shager up the ladder. Not a great kick, but a good bounce. So the end result will be good for UCLA and their sophomore punter down at the 40-yard line. And one more time now, Danny O'Neill will try to get something going for the Oregon Ducks.
Really was a nice catch by Shager. You said going up the ladder, really pinned down in his own end, kicking off the goal line. Turned out to be a pretty good hit. Hit on Alexander before he can turn up the field for the first down.
Busiest man in America, Darren Shager, to punt. Harris, fair catch. So he hasn't had a chance to strut his stuff much early on. 32-yard kick, no return. And Oregon will have it again. There's Danny.
Right there, Barnes bought a lot of time moving around, and right there you have Stokes on just to really come open late right there. He's got to make that catch. Cota comes up late and blasts him, but Stokes has to bring down that 3rd down play.
Clearly in the war of field position, it's being won by Oregon. And the Bruins, in that sense, should be happy to be down only 3-0. Shager. This is a good one. To the 39-yard line. So Shager gets him out of trouble. That's a 44-yard punt for the sophomore. No return again for Ronnie Harris. So that weapon has been kept in check. We have played 20 seconds here in quarter number 2, and it is 3-0
Oregon, a 47-yard field goal by Tommy Thompson. And only scoring if you're joining us late.
Yeah, not often do you open a game highlighting the kicking game, but so far Thompson and Shager for either team doing a great job.
Well, we highlighted the special teams in our open, so I guess we knew something. We rolled the dice and got a little lucky this week. Normally doesn't happen that way. Sean Burwell is gonna take a break. In your face, Luis Perez. Back with more in a moment.
Blocked again, putting the initial hit on Kevin Williams, and he's the number 2 tackler on that team behind Farwell, so you know he's in on an awful lot of plays, and right there putting the first and finishing hits on Williams.
Shager trying to stay warm. Breeze has picked up a bit, but it's really blowing sideways towards us a bit. Shager. Harris will get it. 47. He wants to return it. No! Down he goes. Othello Henderson. Along with Bradley Craig. 38-yard punt and nothing on the return. Back with more. 6-0 Oregon. Stay with us. To move the football.
Well, the Ducks have really been playing well the last couple of weeks. They went up to Washington State, which I think is one of the harder places to play in the conference, being 34-17. Put a world of hurt on Drew Bledsoe and really contained that explosive passing offense. And then last week, the Cal Bears, who are really a balanced team, Russell White, Dave Barr, Sean Dawkins, one of the top receivers in the conference, if not the nation. They doubled him all day and really kept him quiet.
I think everybody around the conference buzzing about the Ducks right now, saying, hey, these guys are going to go to a bowl. They win their last 2 games. They beat UCLA. They beat Oregon State. Nobody can keep them out. They're going to go somewhere, and they're playing just as well as anybody. Here is Shager. The rush is on, and he gets it away. Line drive. And Harris will take it at the 20. And he's out at the 21-yard line. Gain maybe a yard. Donnie Edwards and Othello Henderson were both there. Give him 2 yards on the return after a 47-yard kick. 15 seconds remaining. But Oregon does have a timeout.
Well, Shager's really delivered. When he's had to get a big kickoff, he's done it time and time again for the Bruins, and really has helped that defense, as we said earlier on in the telecast, helped the defense throughout the year. Sees the 2 safeties. All they're doing is spying on the backs, and if the backs are blocking, that frees up those safety men. And really, again, a coverage sack that time, and Edwards doing a great job jumping on the back of John Barnes.
Good job by Barnes not to lose the football, covering up. That would have been costly. Now Shager can kick them out of trouble. Harris will watch that one bounce inside the 20. This is going to work out well for UCLA to the 12-yard line. The stars today, the punters. 6-0, Oregon.
Read into the backs. If the backs are blocking, they're freed of their responsibility. And all of a sudden, Cota turns back outside on Stokes, giving the help to number 1, Alex Molden. And right there you see Barnes just a little unsure about when to let loose of the ball. And that's really not the high percentage throw you're looking for.
Perez's range is quite less than Tommy Thompson's. So that's why they have Darren Shager out there. It would have been a 52-yard attempt, and Perez's longest is only 44 yards. So Shager does a nice job to get it out inside the 10. That's the 16th time that Darren Shager has put the opposition inside the 20-yard line. So the Bruins, playing field position football, go back on defense again. Because when he's been able to get kicks away, a perfect 10 for 10 inside the 40. He's going to be right on the 40. There's Tommy Thompson, the other end of the story. He had a chance to put Oregon ahead with a chip shot at the other end just a moment ago, and he hooked it.
It's amazing. The best kicker in the Pac-10, Tommy Thompson, he's averaging 2 field goals a game, and he got that today. But really, the chance for the third and the most important one just going wide on him, but really the alignment was so hard that hash mark playing such a factor.
Kernicky will snap. Clark will hold at the 40. Luis Perez in the middle of the field. This is to win it for UCLA. 2 seconds left. We're tied at 6. Ball down. Kick is up. It is good. The Bruins win. UCLA Bruins, an improbable win at Oregon. Final score as Luis Perez drills one from 40 yards away. UCLA 9, Oregon 6, and the two close friends congratulate each other.
Wow.
What an
the
effort.
emotion just carrying over out there for the Bruins. Such a huge win on the road. And Perez just nailing the 40-yarder. Good for the win.
And look at that scene. Would you expect anything like that a couple of weeks ago in the midst of a 5-game losing streak? When you just thought nothing could go right for UCLA, Luis Perez, great snap, great holds, perfect kick.
I tell you what, give a lot of credit to Pernicke. He held the ball an extra long time. They couldn't time up their jump, which they were able to do earlier. Clark doing a great job setting it down, and Perez, of course, just drilling it.
I'm sure they talked about that because they knew that they had Pernicke does the job, and Luis Perez is the hero. We're going to be back to wrap things up. Don't go away. The Bruins win it on the road. Final 9-6 UCLA. California. The Pride Ticket Network presents the best in college football. Today, the most storied inter-city rivalry in the game as the UCLA Bruins play host to the Trojans from the University of Southern California. And it's a series.
You scare the defensive back a little bit. Number 26, Gerard Henry with good coverage on Kevin Jordan.
Well, let's see if Conway will indeed get the football.
They're going to try to pin him closest to the Southern Cal sideline to make him run for this football.
Schrager's kick, and it's off the side of his foot. You can see it for a left footer is hooking back in, and then is touched by the Bruins just around midfield. 38 yards on the kick, and that is the end of the first quarter. We are tied.
Press C. Good coverage on Jordan. Now Darren Shager, the sophomore's had a great year. 5th in Pac-10 punting with a 42.1 average. That's 25th in the nation. And they're going to kick it away from Conway. And right at midfield. Well, the Bruins, true to their word, don't want Conway to get loose on special teams. 37-yard punt by Shager, but the key for the Bruins, no return. And that is the end of the quarter.
Real active up front.
And that pocket broke down quickly, didn't it? 12:44. Clock now starts to run again. We're tied at 10, second quarter. Shager will punt. Punted 10 times versus the Ducks last week, one shy of the school mark. Conway, will he get a chance? Out of bounds. See where they mark it. 32-yard line. And the Trojan fans booing. They want to see their star get a chance on special teams. 40-yard punt, no return. Bruins will take that every time. Comes 82 yards, 218, and the big strike, 57 yards. And during the break, I said just running off precious seconds. So the Trojans not electing. Time clock down to 2 to 1, and UCLA will take the penalty, but the Trojans will not have the football till they're under 40 seconds remaining in the half. So an interesting use of the clock by Larry Smith and the Trojans. Curtis Conway is back, but you can bet that Shager will probably kick it away and out of bounds if he is, if he can. Shager has averaged at least 41 yards in 8 of 10 games UCLA has played. And there you see the 5 yards being assessed. Tonight, his average is only 39, but there have been no returns. Conway returned a punt 96 yards against Oregon, the longest in school history this year. That was at the Coliseum. Shager out of bounds, but he missed it. And SC will have great field position with 35 seconds remaining. Hasn't happened often to Darren this year, but it happened right there. Only 17 yards on the kick. And the Trojans will have at least plenty of time to get in a position for a field goal.
Well, it happens a lot of times when you try the directional kick, as Shager's doing here, he just hits it off the side of his foot, and they're going to spot it right at the 50. And as you said, a 17-yard punt. Really not, they did take the delay of game there.
You want to take a chance. of throwing the football into heavy coverage. Give it to Kevin Williams. Let him get some yardage for your punt team. Both coaches are letting the clock run now. Southern Cal not choosing to use their 3 timeouts. UCLA is going to take every second they can off that clock.
25-second clock is ticking as you look at the game clock. The play clock is down to 4, down to 3, 2, and 1, and they will take the penalty. Now, whether SC will have them mark it off, we'll have to wait.
Now, Ron, UCLA probably will kick the ball over to their own sideline. Try to keep it near the sideline to make Curtis Conway run. If he's going to catch this ball, he's going to have to move to his right to catch it.
Aaron Shager to punt. Line of scrimmage will be the 34, and who will await the snap back at the 19. And you see at the bottom of the screen, number 3, Curtis Conway.
He's starting to cheat over to the right. He knows it's going to the right.
That's where it goes. Not a good kick. Not very far. And boy, they're going to spot this thing out at the 50-yard line.
Well, give Curtis Conway credit because he forces you to kick the ball away from him. They wanted to kick it into the right side, but sometimes you make a mistake and you kick it out of bounds. And so Curtis Conway got a runway in some ways, or a run back, because he forced a bad kick. They didn't want to get it toward. He's got to punt the football.
He looked up and he saw Seahorn, and he took that 1 step in retreat, and that was the difference between having the first down and now they're going to have to punt the football.
Just ran the route a little too short because he had to come back for the football.
Shager looking at Curtis Conway. And Conway has caused problems tonight just by being there. Hanging spiral, he'll get an opportunity here. And good coverage for the Bruins to stop him at the 33.
They're doing a nice job to pin him into the sidelines. They're not allowing him any room. There's no guess of where he's going to catch that football.
42 yards in the punt and 5 on the return. Rick Daly is the man.
You can see LaChapelle banged up a little bit, but the Trojans will get the football here early in the 3rd quarter. It'll be 4th down. Shager has effectively kicked away from Conway so far. Conway's going to get a chance at the 29. Down he goes. Good coverage for UCLA. And Rick Daly makes a fine tackle, the tight end. 43-yard kick, 5-yard return for Curtis Conway.
Right here, and Seahorn has the ball, has his hand right where he's supposed to. You see the ball hit the ground, and Seahorn, he's seen a lot of those balls, a receiver and JC ball, and coming in now at DB, a fine play against LaChapelle.
Kick is blocked. Touchdown, USC. Zuri Hector is on the football. Louisi, the touchdown. Hector, the block.
That's right. You see Shager, number 15. You see him just blasted through. Hector was the guy who got the block, and Louisi, number 46, recovers it in the end zone for the Trojan touchdown. Just a huge play on special teams.
His career that he's had a kick blocked. 24-17. We'll look at it again. The Trojan touchdown on special teams.
Well, Hector just in the middle of your screen right there over center, and the up back just doesn't get a hat on him. Tommy Bennett, number 8, not putting a hat on number 15, and he just comes right through. Shager being left-footed, just on the side of the kick, and Louisi there to recover.
Now the punt return.
Also a good call by the officials. That ball was trapped off the turf.
They know where the football's going, into the short side, into the UCLA bench.
And that ball is blocked into the end zone, and touchdown Southern California. Ramirez, now we're going to have to get a check. They don't have names and they have duplicate numbers. Either Hector or Ramirez has blocked the kick. will get a checkout. They have duplicate 15.
Ron, give that block to Curtis Conway because you emphasize so much not to kick the ball to him, to cover the football, and they just didn't block that time and got their punt blocked.
Roll forward with the extra point attempt, and it's up and good.
Looked like UCLA busted their punt coverage in an effort to get down the field on Curtis Conway. They did not hold their blocks long enough.
And Mike, it was Ramirez who got the block, and Luisi who recovers for the touchdown.
See, there's nobody blocking right there. They're so conscious of getting down the field to make sure Curtis Conway doesn't return the football that no one really blocks. Watch as the punter receives the football. No one blocks. I mean, there's just too many people coming scot-free on the punt. Big play for the special teams of USC and special teams coach Tom Rogeman.
Barnes has missed his last 4. He's 8 of 18 on the evening. A little quicker getting this one away. Downs at the 2 and the 1, and it'll go into the end zone. So let's take a break. 8 minutes exactly left in the third.
But Jason Sehorn again matching up with LaChapelle. McGinnis bringing the pressure. A lot of others. John Barnes just not having enough time to throw.
Shager, let's see if he tries to boot it long this time instead of kicking it away. Angling it towards the corner. Shager will roll it into the end zone. And a good decision by Curtis Conway to let it do just that. 52-yard kick, however, it will come out to the 20-yard line where the Trojans will have it 1st and 10 when we return. 44 seconds remaining in the third. Shager will try to put it inside the 20. He's done a pretty good job this year at just that. He's had one blocked, of course, and that's been the big play in the second half. That one's headed for the corner. It's a very nice bounce for USC through the end zone and will come out to the 20-yard line.
Okay, like you said, Bill, SC coming up with a big sack. They had 46 coming into the ball game compared to only 22 a year ago.
They're huge Trojan fans over there, so if they are, I assume by satellite, about the only way they could.
And you know one thing in Korea right now, they're pulling for a defensive stop while the UCLA fans are pulling for a first down.
Wide open. Cuts back at the 15. 10-5. Touchdown UCLA. 90 yards.
Wow. College football story tonight is John Barnes, number 19, reading the Southern Cal defense, picking J.J. Stokes out.
Stokes, there's another part of the story. LaChapelle, the all-everything wide receiver, replaced by Stokes, who's done such a good job. He catches his second touchdown pass of the night as Perez tries to make it a 7-point lead, and he does.
I think UCLA Athletic Department will make sure that John Barnes never has to sneak in to another UCLA football game. What a pass by John Barnes. The blitz is on. J.J. Stokes beats Gerald Henry, number 26, but now does a nice job of weaving to try to stay away from being tackled by Gerald Henry. Just keeps running away from him. Tries to stiff arm. Now stops. Now gets some pressure from backside Jason Oliver, but he is committed to getting in that end zone.
Mike, I don't know if he could feel Oliver or not, but he could not have cut back at a better time because then he used the missed tackle. As you look at the reaction by Barnes, I can't begin to say it. For those who missed the story at the beginning of the ball game, we'll try to get the graphic up one more time. But this time last year, he was sneaking into the ball game. He was not even on the roster here.
There's not a more important person in the Los Angeles City tonight than John Barnes.
Junior college ball.
They made him a tight end at Western Oregon State College.
So long, then his next program dissolved their football program, and here he is. Kickoff to the 18. Conway to the 30-yard line. Now, let's show you this graphic one more time, and Mike just take us through it for the people who missed it early on in the show.
Started out at Trabuco High School, where his brother now is a very highly recruited quarterback. Saddleback Junior College, he didn't play, redshirted. Western Oregon State, they said, John, you're a tight end. John says, see you later. UC Santa Barbara, he was the quarterback, playing against Pomona Pitzer last year at this time. They voted to drop their program. He walked over to UCLA, put a suit and tie on, and said to Terry Donahue, you think I could come out for this team? You think Terry Donahue and Homer Smith made a pretty good decision? Said, yes, son.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. When you talk about a dream.
He's living it tonight. For every walk-on in America, he is making something possible for all of you.
He called. It appears, Ron, that is going to be the quarterback's call just prior to the snap. Run or pass to win the ball game.
They may have given him a two-play scenario depending on what UCLA shows him on defense. You like to have a two-point play that is good against man coverage, then you have another two-point play that's good against zone coverage. So maybe what he'll try to do is decide what he's up against, then make the call. Now they're moving the ball back to the middle of the field.
Both quarterbacks in this ball game have come up so big. Rob Johnson on this last one steps to the front and says, we're not out of this one yet. And his ball club now going for two, trying for the win and a portion of the Pac-10 title. And now UCLA is going to try to ice them.
Well, it's a basketball play because they won.
10 years ago, 1982, Southern Cal tried for two and missed. Let's see if the Trojans get this one in and a portion of the title. Looks back over the middle for the tight end. Knocked down, no good. Jackson is who he wanted.
Tried to bring Yanni. There's a penalty flag on UCLA for too many people celebrating.
Mike, the umpire, I believe, is almost in front of Jackson when he wants to throw. He had to wait for a second, and that gave the defensive player time to step across. Watch the replay.
What they tried to do was bring Yanni Jackson across. Here's the umpire right here. Now, this is Yanni Jackson trying to get across. And he'll run into the umpire.
And exactly. That gave he wanted to throw, and then, by the time he cleared, Littleton had time to react and knock the ball down. Like having a 12th guy on the play.
Now you got to be thinking onside kick, Ron. You still got a chance with the onside kick because Southern Cal's got one timeout left, so you're only talking about a field goal. Not over yet. And the penalty. Remember the penalty now.
So they will be kicking off from the 50-yard line rather than the 35. Still have 41 seconds.
Ron, that's a big penalty when you think you got the ball on the 50. Onside kick, if you recover, it'll be on the 40. You have one timeout, 41 seconds. You're a field goal away from winning this. If you execute the onside kick, you got a good shot. As Larry Smith paces the sidelines. That's the kind of penalty if you're UCLA and Terry Donahue, it's just one you don't ever want to have. 15 yards really hurts you.
Mike, what we're trying to check on is no time ran off that clock, did it? I thought it was at 41 seconds when the...
A two-point play.
Right. Okay. 41 seconds left, 1-point game. 38-37, UCLA.
Here they all come over now.
Recovered by the Bruins. Mike Wynn got on it at the 38-yard line.
Well, when you're on that sideline and it comes down to an onside kick, just look at both coaches, Terry Donahue and Rick Neuheisel. I mean, they're just riding every way that ball's moving. Terry Donahue is ecstatic on his side. Larry Smith has a very sick feeling on his side. Ron, can we say any more about John Barnes, number 19? It's what college football is all about, what you've seen tonight.
About in the open about a guy, if you like pulling for the underdog, I'm not sure if you had scripted this script tonight here in Hollywood, it would have been as lavishly done as this guy. He has the 4th highest passing game in UCLA history tonight, 385 yards. Besides defeating his crosstown rival, this is...
Well, when you go to the movie theater in the year 2020, there'll probably be a movie about John Barnes and his starting assignment versus USC. You'll still be here then. Give him a scholarship, Terry. That's the important thing now. No more eligibility. All he needs is a scholarship. Finish out his senior year.
Goes down on one knee, protected by his teammates, and the clock cranks up again. 30 seconds and 29.
I don't think they're going to have to snap the ball again. It's over.
And the celebration begins here at the Rose Bowl. They do not. With the ball firmly under his arm, John Barnes holds on, and his coach gets a ride. As the Bruins have pulled off what many thought was an impossible dream by one, as the Trojans go for 2 and fail. Once again, the final score, UCLA 38, USC 37. Stay tuned for the Residence Inn College Football Scoreboard. From Mike Gottfried and Adrian Carson, and Ron Franklin saying good night from Pasadena, California.
This is going to be one of the toughest ones to lose in this series. Terry Donahue. John Barnes says, it's mine. Don't ever take it away. And we'll count it down at the Rose Bowl as they carry TD off to a victory.
That's right, big win for Coach Donahue. Hats off to John Barnes.
It's all over. UCLA 38, USC 37.
Right, baby, yeah!
And as I mentioned before, the combination of Barnes and Stokes will forever go down in crosstown rival history. We're going to take a break, be back with more from the Rose Bowl. 38-37. This year it belongs